and the video is there. So, and my audio works. So the video is on the website. What I was going to show you in the video, it's a 2-minute video really showing how marketing is becoming not just more personal, but also becoming more proactive, and how marketing can contribute to a company revenue and company performance. So that was a very quick 2-minute video. I think it actually took 5 minutes to get that video not going, but hey, here we are. So my name is Patrick Turnemans. I am the lead for product marketing for the Dynamics Marketing product. I've been in marketing automation since '98. That's about 17 years. But I joined Microsoft only 5 months ago, after the previous 4.5 years being a VP of marketing of a technology company and implementing marketing automation and other best practices. When I got a call from Microsoft and say, we got a great new product, the Dynamics Marketing product actually just came out last June, and I talked to them, and this is an enormous opportunity. This product, I think this direction that we're going is amazing. I assume most of you were already this morning at the session of Satya and Kirill, where we talk about how data and how insight in data is transforming businesses, and that definitely applies to marketing. So today we're going to talk about marketing. The agenda for today's session is I will provide a short overview where we come from, how the marketing landscape is changing, where it's going, and what the direction is for our product. Then I will ask Melanie Adams here, coming to the stage. Melanie is one of our customers using Dynamics Marketing at Stage Stores, and she has a very great presentation of how they've been doing it. I believe the slides that you're using are actually slides that you use for board presentations, and so that's the level of where marketing is today. Then the third part of the presentation, I'll ask Shailesh to come to the stage, and he'll go into a lot more detail on the product itself. And I hope to have another 5 to 10 minutes at the end for questions and answers about what we're going to present. So, as I said, the marketing landscape has changed quite a lot. All of these numbers, I think actually Satya and Kirill did a much better job, and I'm here with that great setup. You see the data coming from marketing to all the new channels, the social channels. You saw some demos around social, the data that is available now on platforms like Azure, and how to bring that all together. That actually lets marketing leaders, CMOs, being really overwhelmed of all the data and what to do with that. At the same time, what you see here is the numbers. Like when you ask CMOs what is their contribution to the company, it's actually becoming much, much stronger. 78% of marketing leaders say that they have a stronger say at the company, at the board level. And that's why, as I said, Melanie has the slides that she has, those were presented at the board. In my last job as VP of Marketing, I reported to the CEO. I was invited to almost every board meeting and say, what is your strategy? How are you going to drive pipeline? How are you going to contribute to revenue? And now, okay, you get more budget for doing so because we believe you can do so, because you showed us how you can do that. That's how the role of the CMO is changing quite drastically in the future, definitely. So how we're doing that, where do you start? You start really creating a vision, and the vision that we have around our solution is that create a vision around brand experience, and it really comes from two ways, which you can see here. So on the one hand is you talk about customer experience and define what the customer experience is for your company. So that's where we see, and you saw that also in this morning, you no longer talk about CRM and separate solutions for CRM. You talk about customer experience solutions, and marketing being one of those parts of a customer experience solution. On the other hand, make that measurable. Marketing is no longer, as I used to call it, the make it pretty department. No, it's about contributing to revenue and contributing to profitability. And so measurable, the business impact, that's what you're looking for from the very beginning of what you do with marketing. As I mentioned, this is not just about marketing. And it's definitely no longer about CRM, which are actually just systems of record. They become system of engagement, and you would start talking about customer engagement through every customer touch point. And you use technology and data to actually make that happen. So that's where if you go to other sessions around marketing, sales, customer care, or social, you start seeing much more talking about customer engagement. And quite interesting, I love the demo that we saw on the stage there with Marston's, where actually social becomes social everywhere. And social is about listening what happens. So if you do a campaign, you can listen what happens on the campaign. That's what happens in Marston's. You can actually listen what happens in other areas of the business and then create a service ticket or create an opportunity in CRM. That's how social becomes part of everything. So that is part of the marketing solution as well. So what is top of mind of marketing leaders? I just make it very simple here and say, first start thinking of brand. And I think a lot of what Melanie will be talking about is that unified brand vision and how to drive that throughout. It's very small or a very large enterprise. Then you have to engage with customers one-on-one. And engagement not just for the sake of engagement, but engagement for the sake of lead generation, customer satisfaction, and so with that end goal in mind. And that's where I have the last point there, but it really goes across, is demonstrate impact. So each of those areas you have to keep in mind when you start thinking of a marketing strategy. My last slide for today is the 6 building blocks that we see, the 6 building blocks of any marketing automation solution. And Shailesh will go into a lot more detail of what we do today for each of these building blocks, as well as the new features upcoming in the upcoming release. So 6 building blocks, a couple of my favorites, marketing resource management. That is actually what Melanie will be talking about, most of how they've been deploying that at stage stores. Another one is multi-channel campaigns. So that is how you create a campaign in a digital canvas. And so someone not with high-tech skills, but a marketer that maybe just out of college can graphically create a workflow of how the campaign is going to work, who you're going to target, whether it's digital or non-digital. Then how you're going to execute a campaign, whether it's events, whether it's webinars, whether it's email campaigns, and what are the nurturing and steps that you take place. So that is multi-channel campaign management. Another one of my favorites is on here is sales collaboration, where we actually last December, the last release, we added a calendar where if you're a CRM user, and I assume a lot of you are CRM users, imagine you're a salesperson and you go to certain, say, your top 5 contacts and the ones that you're going to talk to this week, and you want to know exactly what campaigns have been targeted at and what campaigns will be targeted next week and next month. And then you can see all the activities that they did for those campaigns, those 5 people, specific those 5 people. And then you can even opt them out or block them for marketing campaigns because I'm going to talk to them tomorrow anyway. That kind of feature, that's one of my favorites, especially as a VP of marketing, talking with a VP of sales. That's where friction comes in, so you can solve that. So that's one of my top ones. And then obviously what you saw this morning on stage, Power BI with role-based, customizable dashboards and how easy you can combine them. That's also becoming available for Dynamics Marketing. So that is really where you drive the measurement to the individual. So each individual marketeer can have their own personalized dashboard and really at their fingertips the information that they're looking for. So with that, that's my quick introduction. And I'd like now to introduce Melanie Adams. Melanie is the Vice President of Marketing, Planning, and Finance at Stage Stores. She's been working at Stage Stores since 2001. And in this role, a couple of years now, implemented Dynamics Marketing, specifically on the resource management. Stage Stores operates 850 retail stores throughout the country. The marketing department works more or less as an inside agency for all of these 850 stores. With that, I think that's, before I say anything that's not true anymore, I invite Melanie here And thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh. Good morning. Oh, big crowd. Just to give you a little feedback on me, I've been with the company for 14 years, and 12 of them I was a merchant, so buying office, different areas like that. And so 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to come to marketing. And on day one, my boss said, you got to get rid of this finance system that we have. It's an AS400, green bar, this, that. I'm like, I really don't know what you're talking about, but okay, we'll work on that. And so we started that process. And as we were working through it, we realized, well, it's not just this antiquated finance system that we have. It's all of our processes are antiquated, and they're not end-to-end. So the creative team had a process, the finance team had a process, production had a process, and nobody really talked. It was all siloed, and we were lucky if an email went out or somebody heard something in the hallway, a change was made. So we also were very much into traditional media, so we did preprint, and we did direct mail, and we did TV and radio, and then all of a sudden the whole wave of digital started coming in, which obviously added so much more complexity. And also, as Patrick was saying, we have 5 nameplates, 40 states. So we have different demographics, we have different psychographics, certainly different climates. So the complexity of what we do in those 840, 850 stores is quite a challenge. So when why we chose MDM was we looked at 4 factors. We looked at functionality, we looked at a cost value, technical support, and then future development, right? It's Microsoft, so obviously there's going to be a path to the future. And we RFP'd 4 vendors and kind of weighed all of those people out and came to this conclusion. It really was the best out-of-the-box solution for us because it did have financials. I mean, the project started out as a financial system, so it was the one place where that came as part of the package. And it's cloud-based, so it's real time, it's there, people can use it on their laptops, they can, not that they were happy about this, but they can work from home if they had to. So really happy about that. The other part is once a year we have to do a business management process where we go through and make sure that we have a backup in case any of our servers went out. We're based out of Houston, so pretty much we can guarantee a hurricane or something. So having it cloud-based alleviated a lot of those problems. We also looked at the Gartner chart, and then on the last point, obviously the power of Microsoft was really the defining factor as to why we went with MDM. Quick slide on basically what it does, and again, in the process of finding a new finance system, we realized we needed an integrated marketing system, one that was an end-to-end process. So if you look at the 4, I'm going to need to put my glasses on because I can't see so well. I know, maybe I'll look at this one. So again, an MRM system, really marketing planning, that starts at 7 months out, and so we needed a place to store analytics and insights and hindsights to kind of help us start building those campaigns. And really, we do a campaign at least once a week, so very, very, it keeps us very, very busy. And I really can't read this. Oh, the approval process. So we had an Adobe process. We wanted everything in one system. So we have about 200 merchants that need to proof various stages of ads. So we needed the assets in one place for them to be able to go and approve those ads. Campaign management was huge, again, because it was in the past we had a creative team and their process ended here, and then we turned it over to marketing and they worked with the merchants, and then we turned it over to production, and then hopefully by the end we got it out the door, right? And so, but it was a lot of Excel spreadsheets and a lot of people talking in a hallway and maybe not communicating the information to the right people that needed it. Task management too. This made people accountable, right? So again, I think we've got certain areas of the building that were like, well, my due date is this, and we kind of got wishy-washy. This task management keeps people on task, and it holds people accountable for their process. And a lot of the task management is triggered. So once someone signs off on it, then it starts the next task. Digital asset management, my boss was like, I just want to see it. I just want to see it. Where is it? Where is it? So he can take his tablet, walk around the building, and if he wants to show somebody what a proof looks like, he's got it on his system. And then resource management. Again, we have a lot of analytics, a lot of hindsights, a lot of things from the merchants, planning forms, So again, putting it all in one spot, one sense of the truth, everybody's looking at the same thing, really helps us out immensely. The automation, obviously, that was the other piece. It was like we didn't have to go tell somebody or send an email. It's a triggered system. So once one thing is done, the next thing starts. So that's priceless for us. Multi-channel, we actually should say omni-channel. Obviously, the biggest growth for just about every retailer in America is going to e-com. So we are, when we first went live, we kind of kept it more traditional media, and in the last probably 3 or 4 months, we've incorporated all of our digital, all of our e-com, landing pages, all of that into this system, so all the jobs are in one spot. So we, at a given time, Mom's Day campaign, someone can go and look at and see exactly how many jobs we are and what that total campaign looks like. Event management too. We do have agencies, but we do broadcast shoots. We also do photo shoots, obviously, for our print. So that helps manage those processes as well. And then landing pages, again, I think we design them and we can store them in the system. Future would be to be able to just produce them there and send them out. The media buying and planning, that's kind of a goal for us. 850 stores. If you know anything about our company, we do best in small and medium-sized towns. So a lot of mom and pop newspapers. So we're working on that with Microsoft to try and develop a very more robust media planning system in order to meet our needs on that. And then the spend financial management. Again, that was how this process started. We didn't budget in a system. It was on a spreadsheet. We got a number from finance. We divvied it up into all the different expenses that we had. So MDM allows us to budget, forecast, pay invoices out of the system. We're now on a PO system that we were never on before. So really, when I had to do this presentation for the board, it was with the audit committee. So they were very, very happy that it was all in one system. The money gets approved before we even start a job, so we put controls in place. So this actually was their favorite. Our charter accounts in there, all our GLs are in there. So it's really, again, an end-to-end process, start to finish, from when it's an idea in somebody's head all the way till we pay those invoices at the end. So the future. So really the development, we're getting into, like everybody else, right, segmentation, targeting, one-to-one targeting. Again, we have 850 stores and 5 nameplates. So it'd be impossible without some one place, one system to be able to record all of this and to do all this work. It's complex enough, but when you start throwing in and you start looking at certain segments of your customer, should we mail, this mailing only goes to men, this mailing only goes to a traditional customer. So it's a tool for us to really kind of, again, keep everybody on the same page, one source of the truth. They know one place to look. We're putting our sales promotion calendars in there. We're putting all of our info in there. So, and it's in the cloud. So if they're at home and sitting home at night and bored, and they can go in and kind of see where we're at on everything. And then again, the more layers, the more testing that we're doing, just the complexity of that business. And then the media planning and buying is our next step. The enhanced reporting and analytics, again, we just went live in September. So we pushed, so our first month of campaigns was February, and we closed February. Successful, nothing was late, at least I didn't hear anything was late, so it was the first time we did a start to finish. We closed, apparently, I don't know if you've all seen it, but there's a picture going around with a binder in January that looked like this, how we closed a month, and February looked like this, so we're very happy. The paper trail is a lot smaller on that too. But the reporting capabilities of Power BI, again, we're just starting. We're going to get some super users. We're going to have some training, and we're just really going to start getting into that. And then future, can we interface with other systems that we have in our company, whether it's Oracle, MicroStrategy, CRM, or digital asset management. So again, we started in September. It was crazy. I would recommend getting a partner to help you through this because it's very, it's a out-of-the-box system, but obviously you need to configure it to your needs. So we got a partner and spent about 1.5 years getting this ready and defining the process, and we went live, and it's all good. We were pretty happy with February, got out the door, and we closed, and so we're on to March. And so far, no issues with that either. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Melanie. That was a great story. And I love the picture that I got last week from her director of finance. It's a picture before MDM and after MDM. And the picture before showed the binder when they're closing the books. It was like, what, six inches or so? Like a big binder. And then after, it was like 5 pieces of paper or something. So that was an awesome picture. I hope I can use that in marketing in the future. So the next speaker here is Shailesh. Shailesh Jain is the program manager for Dynamics Marketing. He's been with Microsoft about 4 years, and with this product about a year ago. And I think he's going to have the most challenging task here, because he probably has only about 20 minutes to go through all of that great functionality, as well as stuff that is coming up in the next couple of weeks. Yep. Thank you, Shailesh.
I'm audible? Can you guys hear me? Okay. So basically, I'm going to talk through what the product main areas are, and I'm going to cover a bit of the breadth and overview. And I'm also going to cover how we have evolved as a product during the roadmap. And with that, I will lightly touch on these features which were done recently and which are coming up. So that should give you a fair idea of how the product looks like. So I start off with the big picture here. Like, as we covered in the earlier portion with Patrick, the main key area is the multi-channel campaign management. And this is all about visualizing a campaign, putting it on a graphical console and iterating through it and testing it, validating, and finally going live. Now, this requires multiple pieces of campaign to come in together. This, like, to give an example, if you are doing an email marketing campaign, you require an email, you require branding assets associated, you require the workflow saying that if somebody opened an email, what do you want to do, how do you plan the nurture campaign. So you put all of these plans on a graphical console, and that's the starting point. And as you work through it, you put in the details, how the flow should look like, what the content should be in there, and what the scoring system should be in there to decide when a contact really becomes from a known contact to a prospect to a sales lead. Now, all this tracking is done through campaign management. So this is the core area of the piece. Now, this runs on the second pillar, which is the marketing resource management. The campaign is only done when you have got all the pieces in together, the email, the branding, the logo, the text, everything. Now, this requires a lot of coordination across different stakeholders, and sometimes it's not even the marketing department. It's vendors, stakeholders, branding guys, logos, LC approvals, whatnot. We enable this by having a robust project management kind of thing, where you can have tasks and jobs, and you can have approval process which lets you do all of these. And we have also made this as a workflow, as an automation. So you can be sure that once you have got a template, a process in place that works for your organization, it can carry through multiple programs and campaigns through the seasons or through your financial cycles. The third portion is about breaking the silos, the integrating sales and marketing. Now, typically, as a marketing team, you transfer ultimately the end goal of a campaign is to convert a contact into a lead. Now, when this lead is taken up or goes to the sales team, they don't have too much of context around how this lead was generated, what were the marketing combination they were exposed to. All of these comes out of the box. When you integrate CRM and Dynamics Marketing, it comes out of the box. A salesperson can actually look on a lead and see that this person attended this event, he opened this email, and this is how the flow went. All of these are at fingertips. And this provides a great view into how to go forward with nurturing the lead. And all of this uses the underlying rich platform that Microsoft has got. So we've got cloud solution. It's across 40 markets, 12 languages, service engineering with SLAs and delivery team, which ensures that emails are delivered on time. You can go through and the spam filters in there. So a lot of things that come as a strong, powerful underlying platform. And with this, since much of the marketing runs on doing a very deep analysis of what is going on, We have started doing Power BI based OData feeds, which allows you to slice and dice the entire Dynamics marketing data and use it as an insight to feed how you should nurture the campaigns, what kind of scoring system you should have on your leads, and this allows the flexibility to pull your data in your way. And trust me, with using Power BI, you actually don't need to depend on IT teams to pull this data. You can do it yourself, visually overlay graphics onto it, all of this yourself at fingertips. So let me just touch upon the differentiation pillar as a product, how we go forward. So the first one is breaking the silos. The silos in terms of doing something end-to-end. You can do budgeting, planning, marketing execution, lead generation, scoring, and finally make sure that it's visible even to the sales team. Now all of this is within a single tool. When I say that, of course the tool does all of these things, but it also coexists with the ecosystem. If you're trying to use certain other systems which are already existing, which, let's assume that you have got a rich contact database and leads coming from a different system. We have got SDKs and APIs which allow you to integrate. So while the tool does everything end to end, it also coexists in the ecosystem. The second one is being truly multi-channel. We do offline as well as online, which means emails, events, webinar, and then moving forward, we are looking into enabling mobile and SMS as well. So we are truly multi-channel to ensure that we can have a campaign plan which can cross over from digital to offline seamlessly. And all of this, the idea is to generate a good ROMI, which is return on marketing investment, to ensure that we have to make the whole thing efficient. And that's where all of these things like marketing calendar, approval processes, jobs, tasks come in, to ensure that whatever we are trying to run, we can run it efficiently. Everyone has visibility on what's going on. Now I'm going to cover some of the features which were part of the December release, which is codenamed Electra. So a couple of places that we did focus on. The first portion is on the campaign management. So we did a truly revitalize the email editor experience. It is you can do drag and drop content layout and everything in there. So the idea is that if you want to do it, you don't need an HTML graphic designer to get these visuals and enrich emails done. The second thing we did was enabling the design part with a thorough validation, which is through A/B testing. The A/B testing concept is around having two different variants of an email content and running it as an experimentation for certain percentage, let's assume 5% of your target segment, and then finally declaring a winner based on those observations, and automatically the rest 95% go through the winner email. So this allows marketers to have options in terms of deciding on a data-based approach on what kind of emails would actually work better for whatever you're targeting. The other thing we did was around segmenting and extension, where we started enabling infinite number of contact user-defined fields. What this allows is to have your lot of business data embedded within contact database. For example, if you have got a contact and you want to track number of licenses or some other data which is not inherently part of a marketing database, you can get this data ingested into Dynamics Marketing and do slice and dice on these kind of attributes. We also added in offer management, like if as a part of a nurture campaign, you want to send an offer saying that since you opened the email, here you get 10% off on our next sales cycle coming in. All of these can be truly be done within campaign management just on using drag and drop. We also enabled 2 more languages to add to our global outlook there. And the biggest feature that we did on terms of breaking the silos was sales collaboration panel, which Patrick touched upon. This is again around ensuring that the sales team has got very good visibility into what marketing events and other communications have gone to a particular lead. Not just that, the sales team can even control whether further marketing communications should go out or not. So you could put a block on a certain lead, saying that no more marketing communications will be exposed because I'm going to have a meeting, sales meeting with them, and turn it back on. So all of these controls and power flexibility comes to the sales team. We also introduced a graphical workflow for approvals, which is very similar to campaign management workflow. Like you can say that the team of approvers do it first. When they have got the approvals done, you move to the second step with a different team. So let's assume that you had a campaign where you wanted first the contents to be approved, then maybe go through a LCA approval, then go through a branding approval process. All of this can be done through a graphical workflow, going to the next person or next team in the row automatically as a workflow. With this, we move to some more features that are coming up on the next release. The one of them is around contact deduplication and email opt-in. These are basically features which are being driven by customer adoptions. As in the previous release, we went to a scale where we could do tens of millions of emails a day. With that, customers are using and enabling new scenarios to really round them off. We had a lot of feedback from customers in terms of what they need to ensure that we can use Dynamics marketing as a complete tool. One of the feedback that came that in some of the markets you need double opt-in, where even when somebody gets an email and they submit their contact information on a landing page, we still need to double confirm through some auditable manner that you indeed said that you wanted to be part of this marketing communication. Now that is something which we are getting in the next release. This will basically take the flow where you can a contact registers, the email is sent saying that a confirmation email which says that you did register, please go ahead and confirm. So and when the contact really opts in, that is the point at which Dynamics marketing enables the contact to be receiving the further communications for that. And not just that, you can even see the contact history, which gives a audit tracing for the compliance purpose, where you can say that yes, these were the emails sent out, or this is when the confirmation was received. And finally, once all of this cycle is completed, the contact receives a welcome email to the marketing communication you're going to send. So this is one of the features coming up in next release. The other one is around contact deduplication. Again, on different markets, there's a different requirement. In most of the US, it's generally contact is identified by an email address, where you assume that one person maps to one email. While in certain markets, in Europe especially, there's a sharing of emails where a group of people or team of people might be sharing the same email address. And the communications, and when we send out as marketing communication, we have the ability to personalize this communication. So even when, let's assume 3 team members are sharing the same email address, you will get an individualized email where you say, hi, first name, and you will get the rest of the communication. So even though it's addressed to the same inbox, you would be able to differentiate that this email was meant for one person versus another. So these are the kind of things which are coming through, and we are providing flexibility to choose what kind of matching would be best for your business scenario. The other focus area is on analytics. This is in our current release, we already have OData feeds, and we have been incrementally adding more and more entities and attributes which can be pulled through OData. OData feeds enable you to do analytics in a Power BI using an Excel sheet, and now we are moving on to Power BI dashboards, where these are role-based. You can use them as a Power BI application, or you could even embed them as a widgets on your Dynamics marketing homepage. Now, just to show in terms of rich visuals, you can see where my leads are coming from, how are they located geographically, what kind of scores they have got, what is the distribution of these scores, like which band are they coming from. So with this, you get very rich data on understanding how effective your campaigns are. So it's no longer just a score, but multiple visuals and graphic elements which allow you to immediately slice and dice. Like for example, the map that you see with lots of leads plotted on different areas, you could immediately go on a sidebar and put a city like Seattle or Atlanta, and you can get the leads coming from that city. So these kind of filtrations are, and all of these can be done by marketers themselves without depending on IT team to pull all of these data reports. So that's something which allows us to use dynamics marketing and the data very effectively. So this is one example of how, for a demand generation manager, how it would look like in terms of seeing the leads plotted over a map and see where they're coming from. We also, as we scale, we also need a lot of service enhancements to ensure that we can keep up with the scale and provide a wow experience to the customers. The first one is on the release update itself. So we are aligning with the way CRM does it today. The customer can actually say that I would like to schedule this release and automatically pull the upgrade during that time frame, rather than service engineering and support team trying to work out a schedule which works best for the downtime for customer. So this basically provides the power to customer to get an upgrade when they want to and schedule downtimes when they can afford to do that. And this basically gives, for the many of the customers who are using CRM alongside dynamics marketing, it gives them a very good alignment in terms of release process. The second thing was the connector improvements. Now, connector is the piece which allows us to connect dynamics marketing and the CRM, and that's how you get features like seller collaboration panel, and where sales team can see through the dynamics marketing contacts and the leads thing. So now we have got the setup which is very easy to do. Earlier we had Azure queues to be matched on. Now this will be managed by dynamics marketing itself. So you have one-click setup, and all of the Azure queue management is taken up by dynamics marketing. And with that, you get service engineering team and other platform things which are integral to dynamics marketing. You get all of these as part of this feature release. The third one is on the scale side. In this release, we would be increasing the ability to process the marketing results. So for example, right now, even today, we can send millions of emails a day. But along with emails, it's not just the emails that you need. You need the data on who clicked the email, where they opened, what was the time difference between clicking on a link and actually submitting a contact information. All of this requires a lot of heavy processing on the back end. This processing we have increased by 100x times in this release. Similarly, in terms of scale improvements, in terms of the links processing, we have increased by 30%. The lead management scoring has increased, performance has increased by 20%. Now, all of these are hidden behind the user interface, but these are improvements which allow you to keep running your business efficiently. And this is the Spica is the code name for the release that's upcoming in a month or so. I will just quickly touch upon what we are getting beyond Spica. Now, again, the focus areas, I would say they are divided into, again, 3 pillars. First one is campaign management. Now, in that, we are going ahead in truly becoming multi-channel with adding SMS to it. Now, this will be our core area in terms of increasing it the way other channels are, the way you can run an email campaign within a workflow, the same thing you would be able to do with SMS as well. You could target a certain segment and do a lead processing on the SMS. The second one area in the long-term roadmap is around content marketing. So the landing page and event registration are two key pages or areas where you do the new lead ingestion. Now these are the means or mechanism in which you ingest new leads into the system. We are going to improve this, boost a lot in terms of usability and make it very friendly to create these pages easily in dynamics marketing. The other pillar is around extensibility and marketing. For any customer to actually go live and integrate dynamics marketing, the first thing is to get in there. To get in there, you need dynamics marketing to coexist as an ecosystem with other pieces which are already existing. which means that we need a very robust mechanism in which we can get existing data into Dynamics Marketing, run your campaigns in Dynamics Marketing, but still pull back data out of Dynamics Marketing into your other systems. If you've got other sales system or other lead nurturing mechanisms or telesales or whatever, all of these systems need data to be pulled back out of Dynamics Marketing into these systems. Now, this is where we are making sure that we allow free flow of information. One is via SDKs and APIs where you can ingest data into Dynamics Marketing. The other way is using OData and reports where you can pull data out of it. So this gives you a closed loop in terms of existing in an ecosystem. The other focus area is on big data, where we are ensuring that we can take all of this data and put it on a big data scale where you could actually run your own analytics heuristics to process and derive insights into whatever campaigns have been run. Like this would basically mean you can take your business data, you can take the behavioral data, like for example, who opened the email, who clicked on the links, did you fill out your landing page, did you submit your contact information? If you did that, did you follow this up with web visits to certain things? Did you attend an event? Did you register and then did you not attend the event for some reason? That means you are a good candidate for further nurture emails. All of these data points are very important for business scenario to nurture and derive insights to decide what is the next course of action. Now, this kind of analytics will be supported on big data. So this is in terms of long-term roadmap. I will also quickly run through a slide which shows through the SMS marketing, which is coming in the release after. The code name is Capella for that release. So this shows you 3 different key aspects of enabling any new channel. So the first one is around adding SMS as a channel where you can enrich your contact database. Now, when we send out an email, and let's assume we have a SMS shortcode in it saying that reply back or send this to this code, that would enable us to add contacts into our database. So this is where you will augment the contact database. The second portion is using this contact list and contact database with whom we have got SMS information. We could send a campaign using the similar workflow that we do today with emails, which would send out SMS to these target audience. And again, based on the interactive response, you could generate a further nurture flow out of it. So this is what is coming up with SMS as a new channel in Capella. So with this, I have kind of covered through the high-level overview of what are the different areas within Dynamics Marketing and what has been the thrust of our releases in terms of focus areas and what is the way forward in terms of focus. So again, like the 3 pillars that we are focusing on is campaign management to add more workflows, get more easier way to design these workflows, validate and see this data as you run and execute campaigns. The other one is resource management, where we want to optimize all of these, how they come in together by having good access to what's going on with the campaign. Are you ready for the campaign? Do you have all the pieces lined up? Have they been approved? So this is the resource management part. And finally, the general breaking the silos philosophy, where we want to make sure that Dynamics Marketing is a platform which can ingest data from existing ecosystem, and we can pull out data from it for analytics or for feeding into other systems. That is the breaking the silos part. So these are the 3 areas where our thrust is for upcoming releases. With this, I'll hand off to Patrick.
Thank you, Shailesh. Sorry. Let's see. So that was a lot of information. I assume a lot of people have a lot of questions. I think we have a few more minutes for questions. Meanwhile, I have these 3 recommendations for slides for follow-up sessions. So Shailesh will have breakout sessions on specifically around campaign management. Rohan will give a presentation around marketing resource management. And then tomorrow we have a session by a Gartner analyst, Kim Collins. She's the lead analyst at the Gartner for the Integrated Marketing Management Magic Quadrant and their research, as well as Marketing Resource Management Magic Quadrant and the research around that. So those are highly recommended sessions. Melanie and Shailesh come back on stage here. I think there's two key takeaways from all the information that you received here. The first takeaway is marketing has changed drastically. The impact of marketing organization is becoming very prominent. And because of that, and that's the second thing, you have to start thinking of what is your marketing strategy, what technologies, what solutions are you going to use. How does Microsoft technology, particularly, of course, this session is around Dynamics marketing, how does it fit in? But as you've seen already from the breakout session or the keynote session this morning, is not just Dynamics marketing. There's a lot of infrastructure around it and other solutions. So with that, few minutes for questions from the audience. And we have microphones there and there. That's one question.
This is, it's not working. I have three questions.
Three questions.
First one is, are there connectors available for GoToMeeting, Eventbrite, and some of these other platforms other than just CRM? What the roadmap for that is. The second question is there a content creation and management calendaring mechanism available? So not for the marketing task, but for the content process, similar to what Compendium, for example, offers. The third is, if somebody, we're using Pardot today. So if we have to migrate from Pardot to Dynamics marketing, are there tools available, or what the plans are on that?
Okay, so three questions, and I'll repeat the questions, and I think they're all for Shailesh. So the first question is about integration with webinar vendors, and where are we today, and what's the direction. The second question is about content management tools, and the third one is what are the tools if you want to migrate from an existing email marketing tool to Dynamics marketing. Shailesh?
So on the first one, for integrating with any of the other pieces, the mechanism that we provide is through SDK APIs. Now, we do not have an out-of-the-box piece which will build and integrate with each of these individual systems because it's a vast world out there. But the SDK APIs can allow you to write code which will let you to the data to integrate within Dynamics marketing. The second question was on the content management. So on content management, as I said, we have a focus area on two areas like landing pages and event registration, because these are the most commonly used pages where a small enterprise would like to design it within Dynamics marketing versus using a separate content management system. For enterprises, they usually have their own content management system, and they would rather integrate Dynamics marketing with it rather than trying to develop all of these within Dynamics marketing, because it would look odd in terms of the overall picture. But we want to make sure that some of the basic things can be done neatly and cleanly without needing any IT support. Did I answer all of these? Yeah, so migration, again, as I said, for any sort of migrations, so there are two portions to it. One is the data which already exists, which has been created using different tool system. Now that data can easily be ported into Dynamics marketing because we provide APIs for contacts, leads, and shortly we would have lead interaction as well. So which allows you to get the entire rich data that you have created on leads, what are the scoring, and what are the interaction on which they have been scored. So all this data, relevant data, comes into Dynamics marketing. And after that, you could basically start running on Dynamics marketing.
One question there.
Yes, as part of your implementation of MDM, it sounds like you already had in place your CRM and your financial components, and that there weren't any changes to that. It took you 18 months to do MDM. Would you think that it would take significantly longer, or would it be easier if you were, for example, to integrate CRM into CRM Online and MDM at the same time, or would you separate those into two different projects?
So we actually did separate them into two different. The MDM and the finance system all went at the same time. So the project started with we just needed a new finance system. And then obviously as we were working, we're like, wait, we need a whole operating system. The CRM at the same time. We got a new VP of CRM came in and she had an opinion. So we were actually simultaneously launching a CRM system and an MDM system. So we kind of ran them as separate projects, and then once we got them both in place, now we're incorporating the two. But it's not a simple, again, a simple process. I think if you're doing anything of that magnitude, I would say take your time and really define all the processes you want in whichever system it is, and build it before you just kind of go in. Because again, it is an as-is system, but you configure it to how you run your business. But yeah, we know we had a lot of change in the last year and a half at Stage, so it was two different systems that we incorporated.
And if I can add to that, there is another session, I believe it's tomorrow, on implementations. And that session is specifically around how you can define different types of implementation. So it's not about how to do an implementation step by step, but it's about, okay, you can do a program like an implementation around MRM or implementation around campaign management, or what do you do if you have both? So you end up with different implementation plans, and that's what that session is about. Highly recommended. That's done by one of our partners who's a lot of experience with implementations. So that's a good session as well. The last question, because I think we're on time now.
Sure.
So you get the last one.
So you mentioned that your company does a lot of like direct marketing, old school, ads, kind of paper materials, a little less on the digital side. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to me a bit about the data points you're able to pull from those campaign marketings and how that integrates within MDM and being able to look at those data sets and how effective those marketing campaigns were?
Yeah, and I think the key thing there is, that's a very important, you said like about 77% of budget is still focused on traditional?
It is.
Yeah, so that's a big number, right? It's not just all digital. We all like to think digital, but it's not just digital, so.
Yeah. We look at a couple different ways, but so just from a digital standpoint, that's where we are putting additional budget. So we've pulled back. Obviously, I don't know. People can raise their hand to see how many people in this room still get a newspaper, right? So we are moving into the direction of getting away from traditional and really putting the 40-50% increases in digital every year. So that's where we see the growth is. Certainly the growth in e-commerce. But from a print standpoint, and the reason we're pulling money from inserts right now is the ROI has been very, very difficult for us. So we do look at spend. We do look at, we can look at coupon usage. We can look at customer usage. We know, obviously, who we're targeting when we mail this. So we do look at our CRM group pulls analytics for all these campaigns, whether we're polybagging it with 6 other things. And so we can measure all those effectiveness. What we're finding is, the customer is not responding to big, giant catalogs anymore. She wants a quick coupon vehicle, which is another reason why digital is so important, because when she walks in the store and she gets a little text message that, we're going to give you a 40 off item if you want to shop with us today. So we have looked at analytics. We also we work with a mixed media modeling company also to kind of gauge what the ROIs are. But we're finding, obviously, that the traditional, there's definitely much more, ROIs are going up more with digital and obviously coming down particularly with preprint. So yes, we're analyzing all of that, and that's kind of why the move to,
Are you able to pull those data sets into MDM and sort of analyze it in cohesion with everything?
We're just starting that right now because, again, we just went live with February, so it was really the first month that we actually have data in there, and so now the CRM team is putting the analytics behind it, and yes, we'll store it all there. But it was really February was the first month that we had a full automated end-to-end campaign.
Thank you.
Excellent question. Yeah, I love just the division of it's omni-channel, and that's where marketing is going. So keep that in mind when you define your strategy. Where do data come from, right? And how to pull that together. That was part of the opening keynote. So Azure Cloud, data can come from all kinds of sources. And so that's the direction we're going. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for attending, and have a great conference.